Hi, it's Neil Waterhouse. 2 weeks ago I took the kids to the local show and there was a terrific snake show put on by snake expert Steve McEwen from Coffs Harbour Reptile World, and it reminded me of such an important lesson in life and making money. Now, one of the people in the audience asked Steve if brown snakes chase people. Now, where I live on the New South Wales mid-coast, brown snakes are very common. It's also the second most venomous land snake in the world. So, this question of do brown snakes chase people, it's immediately got my attention. Now, I've always been led to believe that brown snakes do chase humans, and I've had this belief as I've been told by many people that I trust that brown snakes do chase humans. So this bit of information that brown snakes chasing humans has had a significant impact on my life, as I live on a farm and most days I go for a bushwalk, and of course spend a considerable amount of time, especially in summer, looking out for snakes while I'm walking, especially brown coloured ones which could come chasing me or one of my kids. Now, when the person in the audience asked Steve this question, his answer was no. Brown snakes don't chase humans, and there's never been a recorded case of a brown snake chasing a person and biting them. In fact, he got a brown snake out of a bag, placed it on the ground, and then turned his back to the brown snake and asked the audience to tell him when the brown snake was chasing him. Now, this snake, by the way, it was in an enclosure, looked like a bit like a swimming pool, empty swimming pool, so they couldn't get out and chase the crowd. But the bottom line is it never did chase him. It just slithered around and whatever. Now, Steve McEwen is a full-time snake expert, and he travels around Australia full-time teaching kids and adults all about snakes. He's handled tens of thousands of snakes in his 40+ years of life. Now, I don't know how old he is, but apologies, Steve, if you're younger than 40, but he looks, I'll say in his 40s, but please, Steve, I'm sorry if you're older, you're younger. And anyway, he got his first job when he was 10 years of age, or got his first snake, sorry, at 10 years of age. He got his first job at Reptile World in Gosford when he was 15. Now, bottom line is, Steve McEwen is extremely knowledgeable about anything to do with snakes. This, of course, made me start thinking who I got this information from that brown snakes do chase humans. In fact, I lay in bed that night trying to piece together exactly where that information came from, and I can still to this day not remember, but the first time I heard this piece of information, it came a long time ago, and I can picture now many people who have told me this information, but none of them were snake experts. They might have been experts in other fields, but they certainly were not full-time snake experts like Steve. The point is, we have to be so careful with what information we allow in our brains. We've got to guard our brains for what information we get. Now, since learning that a 6-foot brown snake is not about to chase me, my walks through the bush are a lot more relaxing. The lesson here, of course, is be extremely careful as to what information we allow in our brains. Incorrect information programming in our brains can very easily cause us undue stress, affect our health, as well as massively slow down our growth physically, mentally and financially. The same with building eBay, Amazon, importing or dropship businesses. Last weekend I ran a seminar in Melbourne, and one of the biggest things I tried to emphasise over and over and over to everyone there is always use facts and figures and only sell proven items that already have history and are already making a profit. Don't get involved with all this hearsay. This might do well, that, forget it. Just no guessing, just use facts and figures. This is the same methodology as the third richest man on the planet, Warren Buffett, uses when he purchases businesses and shares in businesses. He only purchases shares and whole businesses in proven businesses. He never ever guesses, and he never ever gets involved with brand new startup businesses. We can use exactly the same strategy with building online businesses, whether this is an eBay, Amazon, importing or dropshipping business. Only use proven products which have a history of consistently making profit. There's absolutely no reason these days to do any guessing, but over 90% of sellers still use best guess marketing strategies, and these days there's absolutely no reason whatsoever to do so. Just like what the third richest man on the planet does with buying shares in businesses. He only buys shares in businesses which are proven, no guessing. Anyway, that's all for this week. Please scroll down, leave me a comment below. Until next week, list more, sell more. This is Neil Waterhouse.